So how do you win when pretty much everyone thinks you're a scam? That's the big question. We're going to dive into this amazing story of a financial company that was literally on the brink of failure, and then they completely flipped the script on what it means to build trust.
I mean, this is the real challenge, right? How do you build trust when every potential customer you talk to already has their guard way up? It's this massive wall to climb. But this one company, they didn't just get over it. They actually used that skepticism to their advantage.
All right, so let's set the stage. Picture this. The world of online trading is basically the digital Wild West. It's packed, it's messy, and honestly, trying to build a name people actually trust, it feels next to impossible.
So into this chaos, in 2019 comes a new platform. Back then, they were called MFx. And, their biggest problem? They were just another face in the crowd. They looked the same, sounded the same, in a market that was already bursting at the seams. And the result of being so generic? Well, they were pulling in just about $38,000 a month. Now, to give you some perspective, that is only 19% of what they would eventually be making. So yeah, they weren't just struggling, they were barely hanging on.
Okay, so what was really going wrong here? Why weren't they connecting with anyone? Let's really dig into the diagnosis of this digital faceplant and see why they were just completely lost in all the noise.
It was a perfect storm, really. First, you've got this industry-wide reputation for scams. Then, the market is absolutely flooded with copycats. And on top of all that, they had zero clear brand identity. Even worse, they were using all this super technical jargon that just pushed people away. The result? Crickets on social media. Like, nothing.
I mean, just take a look at their early social media. It's so generic, so blah. You look at this and think, am I going to trust these guys with my money? No way! This is the definition of a scroll-past post. You wouldn't even have noticed it. They even tried hiring an outside agency to fix their branding. But get this, the case study says that team simply lacked experience in the field. So that whole rebranding effort, a total failure. It's a classic case of trying to solve a problem without actually understanding its roots. But then, this is the turning point. This is where the whole story just flips. They ditched the outside help, built their own in-house team, and committed to a completely radical new strategy. It was a pivot to education.
Their entire mission did a 180. It stopped being about how do we sell our product, and it turned into a much more powerful question. How do we actually educate people and build genuine trust by teaching responsible trading? And that one shift is the key to this entire turnaround.
And look, they didn't just wing it. They were super methodical about it. They built this whole 7-step plan. We're talking deep dives into market research, mapping out every step of the customer journey, all the way to an obsession with client loyalty. They basically engineered a trust-building machine. And this is the blueprint for how they structured it all. They created these 5 content pillars, each with a specific job. Informative and entertainment content, just to get on people's radar. Then motivation and interaction to pull them in closer. And finally, targeted campaigns to help them make that decision. It was brilliant, really, a step-by-step guide to turn a skeptic into a true fan. And wow, check out the visual payoff. The before and after is just night and day, isn't it? They went from something that looked generic and forgettable to this clean, professional, we-know-what-we're-doing vibe. It's not just a prettier look, it's a statement. It screams expertise and reliability. Okay, so a great strategy on paper is one thing, but we all know execution is what really counts. So let's see how they actually took this education-first philosophy and used it to build a real community from the ground up. So instead of just yelling "buy now" in their posts, they started asking questions. Something as simple as this trivia format was a total game changer. It stopped being a one-way sales pitch and started a two-way conversation. It made people feel like they were a part of something, They also started providing real, actual value. Whenever a big financial event happened, they weren't using it to push a product. Nope, they were creating these short, easy-to-understand reels explaining what it all meant. This move positioned them not as salespeople, but as trusted educational authorities. And this was the masterstroke for sealing the deal on loyalty. They created an exclusive Telegram channel. In there, clients got real-time analysis and insights directly from experts. This wasn't just another newsletter. It was a service that built a tight-knit inner circle and made clients feel incredibly valued. All right, so the big question, did all this focus on education and trust actually pay off? Let's dive into the numbers and see the results of this incredible turnaround. When they surveyed their clients, the results were stunning.
What did customers value the most? It wasn't price. It wasn't even product quality. Over 55% said the number one thing was personalized support. This was the ultimate validation that their whole relationship-first strategy was the right call.
And that focus on support clearly paid off. Overall customer satisfaction hit a very solid 8 out of 10. That tells you people weren't just using the platform, they were genuinely happy with the experience.
But for me, this is the most powerful number of all, an 80% customer retention rate. Just think about that. 8 out of every 10 traders who joined stayed. In the cutthroat world of online trading, a number like that is almost unheard of. It is definitive proof that trust creates loyalty. You know, their entire journey proves a fundamental truth for any business today. In a digital age, trust can't be bought. It's not something you can just sell. It has to be earned, one valuable, helpful piece of content at a time. Which brings us to our final thought. This strategy, built on education, community, and genuine value, it completely transformed a struggling brokerage. So the question I'll leave you with is this. What industry do you think is going to be transformed by this exact same strategy next?